And there we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping on for the sales meeting this morning. We got a little bit different kind of sales meeting. We are going to cover kind of a abbreviated list of things that we generally do, and then we are going to get into some goal setting, WIGS, WAGS, and WIGS, LAGS, and LEADS. So that is coming up here soon. Last week, we welcomed in a new agent to our West Seattle office, Shimmy Khan. And this week, we are introducing a new agent into our Burien office, Coulter Griffin. Coulter, welcome to the team. I know that you're on. You don't have to necessarily jump on and say hi, but I just want to say welcome to the group. This is a good part of them, and the rest are, I don't know, we a little caught up watching news today, probably, like I said, but that's all right. All right, what else do we got? Let's see, a couple update things. One is just a reminder that in West Seattle, Maria, our office administrator, is out on vacation. So just be patient with Russ. I'm joking. Be patient with Russ and I as we kind of go through and help. Burien is jumping in to help as well. But for those of you that have not heard, in Burien, Jody actually has gotten injured. She busted her kneecap, apparently maybe into multiple pieces. I don't know. It doesn't sound good. So that just happened a couple of nights ago. And so Jody is going to be on the shelf for us for a little bit. Obviously, we don't care that she's not going to be around for us for a little bit. Really worried about her and her health. And so I know she's meeting with surgeons this morning to talk about what needs to be done there. So best wishes for her, and Burien will be connecting and talking about different ways and things that we can do to send her some care packages and things of that nature. So really a bummer. So hearts and minds are kind of with Jody right now with that. All right, one quick item, one quick hit thing that I just wanted to bring up because it came up in the last week, and I love sharing with you what's kind of going on with other agents. Just a reminder that if your client is depending on using funds that they find or that they have in accounts that are investment accounts, right? 401ks maybe that they're going to withdraw, or stocks with, I don't know, E-Trade or something like that. If they are going to utilize those funds for their down payment, they need to be disclosing that to the sellers. They need to be using a 22EF, the evidence of funds form, to identify that those funds are in an account, that it is not completely liquid, right? The stock market could do all kinds of things, up and down and all kinds of things. So you have to announce those. Now, if they plan to pull stocks out to do their down payment, let's say they're going to put $100,000 down, but they have $100,000 or more in a bank account somewhere, a liquid bank account, a savings, a checking, a money market, they don't have to disclose that they're going to be taking the money from the stock fund to use for their down payment, because they do actually have the money to cover that in their own savings accounts. Okay, but if they're going to utilize funds, if they have to rely on funds that are in things such as stocks, they need to be disclosing that. So anyway, just a quick reminder on that. Awesome. Real quick, let's talk about some stats, because actually there's some interesting stats right now in our real estate market. One is active listings across the MLS. I wanted to share this with you. Over the last 4 weeks, we've seen active listings start to decrease, right? New homes hitting the market has started to decrease. It's normal. This is fall time. It's fairly similar pattern to last year and previous years. However, we do still have an inventory that's about 25% higher than it was at this time last year. And it's following that as we go lower and lower on the inventory numbers. So yes, inventory numbers are going down, but yes, also in relation to last year, inventory numbers are actually up. Again, I think it's kind of the later part of that fall or that spring push into the summer and now into the early fall of people wanting to do real estate activities, because we had that suppression there early in the COVID lockup. So interesting numbers there. Also, median home prices for the MLS again hit all-time highs last week. Median home price up to $510,000. It had the previous high was the beginning of September at $505,000, and that puts us at 20% over last year's number week over week, and month over month, it's 20%. So it's not like, well, we just had 1 week. We're still up 20% month over month on median home prices. The last set of stats that I want to share is actually from the quarterly report. Did you see the email that Jason Waugh sent out, or the one that I followed up with that included the quarterly report? It's really a nice graphic and item that you can use to market yourself and just let your clients know what's going on in the marketplace. But I want to pull some of the stats out of there. That report deals with the greater metro area, so King, Snohomish, and Pierce counties. That one over the last quarter shows 17% increase in active listings. It shows a days on market is down 32% at 19 days on market. Pended is up 28%. The number of homes pended last quarter was up 28%. And average sale price across the Tri-County market is 14%, with the average market price or the median home price being $691,000. Unbelievable numbers. Continuing to go up. All right, let's talk about some calendar stuff real quick. One, for those of you that jumped on last week to the spooky clock hours with equity, I know that one got postponed. We had some technical issues. Do we have somebody? Let's see. I think we've got Janet. Janet, do we know anything on when that one's coming back around, or are we going to try to set that maybe for December, since we've got one coming in November? What was the plan there?
Yeah, good morning. We are going to try to move that one out to December. It's obviously not going to be spooky. And so, and then we're going to have the one in November 18th, I believe, at noon, since that one's coming up so soon. So
absolutely.
Again, we apologize for that.
No, things happen. Absolutely. It's kind of part of the new norm, right? So, okay. So spooky clock hours is going to be festive holiday clock hours.
Yeah. December 3rd, I think, is when we actually rescheduled it. December 3rd.
December 3rd?
Yes. Okay.
That sounds great. We'll send something out on that, folks, when the time comes. And then you also mentioned that you do have a title and escrow class on the 18th. That's from 12 to 3, and that one's the policy of title insurance. So that one is coming up here just in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Awesome. Good. Anything else from equity?
Nothing new. I know we have 58 days left in 2020, so if anybody's wants to sit down and noodle some new ideas, I am happy to do so. So just give me a call.
Nice. All right. Thank you. All right. So also on your calendar, next week we have the split office meetings. So next week is our once a month Burien only and West Seattle only meetings. Remember, West Seattle stays at the 11 o'clock, and the Burien office pivots into the 10 o'clock slot. So we'll send invites on that out maybe even later today, just to get them out a little bit early. But remember, Burien, make sure that next week you are on at 10 o'clock for that Burien specific sales meeting. Also, starting next week, we've got Jumpstart. We have got a great group of new agents that are full of fire and energy that are going into that Jumpstart class. But I just want to remind everybody, Jumpstart is not just for new agents. That's for anybody who is looking to put a little bit of energy, a little bit of a jumpstart into your business. If you feel like, hey, 2020 was fine, but not what I wanted it to be, or maybe it was just downright not great for you, and you're thinking, gosh, everybody's talking about all these sales and making all this money and career high years, and it wasn't me. Jumpstart might be for you, whether it's this time around or the next time. I do highly recommend that if you need a little bit of energy put back into your business, Jumpstart's a great way to go. It starts this time around. It starts on Monday. It's a Monday, Wednesday each week from 10 to 1. And usually it's really closer to about 2 hours and 15 to 2 hours and 30 minutes each of those days. It's 4 weeks, and this time it does not include Thanksgiving week. We took that week off, of course, because of the holiday. So at any rate, if you're interested in that, please let me know, and we will get you hooked up with the link registration for that. But really a great idea. We've had veteran agents jump in there each time, and each time they come out with things that they found were really positive and helpful. So anyway, keep that on your radar as well. And then lastly, I just want to share, sales meetings. We've been doing these Zoom sales meetings now for 8 months, if you can believe it. It's been 8 months, and that I like to try to mix things up. We want to try to continue to bring new and different kind of ideas and thoughts. We split up for once a month between the two offices to try to break it up and have some fun and do some different things. And we're going to continue with that theme. And we are going to be bringing in some folks for sales meetings that will be really helpful, especially on the tech side of things. So not next week, because next week is the split meetings, but the week after on the 17th, we're actually going to have the folks at Agent Icon come in and share a bunch of stuff that they got going, what they're doing, how to use their system and how to use their services. These are the same folks that have that, text a photo to them, and they'll shoot you back all the marketing options. You can ask questions, you can make suggestions, you can say, hey, I'd like to see this and that. But they will talk a lot about their product, which is going to be great. That'll be a big part of the sales meeting on the 17th. And we'll continue to start to bring folks in from our marketing departments and things like that to talk about tools and such to kind of help push us into, hey, let's get some of this stuff going in our businesses into 2021. So look forward to that. I'm really excited because, again, we're just looking for new ways to freshen it up and keep it new and interesting for you. And I think this is really a great way for us to push into the coming months and into 2021 in this kind of continue doing these meetings online. With that, I'd like to offer it up. I see Mark is actually on a call, it looks like. I don't think Kara is on today because she's on something else. So
speaking momentarily.
I will share. If you haven't seen already, I sent an email out just a little bit ago that had a flyer about the Meet or Beat program that Mark is doing, or that Prosperity is doing. So Mark and Kara have available, where it's $1,000 if they cannot meet or beat the rates that your folks are having at other places. Really trying to give them an opportunity to prove it, right? Let's see how good can you do. In worst case scenario, your folks get $1,000. Best case scenario, they get a better rate. And so it's really, it's an interesting program, and they have upped it to $1,000. It's a lot. Mark, tell us about that. You're on mute.
Sorry, Tay, I was in the middle of I get lots of phone calls.
Nope.
So I couldn't get a listing agent off the phone there. Yeah, the second opinion program. I think Kara might have mentioned this last week, but I'll just go over it briefly. We've raised it from $100 gift card to $1,000 gift card of your buyer's choice. And basically all they need to do is provide us with a loan estimate or a worksheet dated the same day that we are going to be quoting the price and the interest rate and costs. And if we can't meet or beat that offer, we're going to give your buyers $1,000 gift card. Now, we don't expect give very many gift cards out. In fact, hopefully none. But you guys, our rates are as good or better than any place I've seen. This is really, we've got great interest rates. We have for the past year, and I think everyone knows that rates right now are basically at all-time lows. So what a wonderful time if you have someone that has been pre-approved or is getting pre-approved, and you want to just give them a second opinion, just have them reach out to me or Kara, and we'll be more than happy to do it. And of course, if for some reason we can't meet or beat, they're going to get $1,000, just like that, gift card.
Nice.
So it's a great program, and hopefully we can take advantage of it and help bring some business to Prosperity.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's put Mark and Kara to the test a little bit. Give them a shot, see what happens.
There you go.
I would love to hear about different opportunities on those second chance or second opinion options. So very cool. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. All right. So I am going to share with you guys a portion of a presentation that I did for our southern region of Berkshire Hathaway Northwest Real Estate. For those of you that don't know, we're in the northern region. There's a central region, which is really the north part of Oregon, and then the southern region of Oregon we consider our southern region. They asked me to do a business planning presentation on goal setting and some other things. And I bring that up because I'm not going to go through the entire presentation. It's about an hour long presentation that I did there, but it is up on YouTube. And the reason that I'm bringing it up is just that some of the things we're just going to gloss over. Some of the things are not going to be included that I included there because they're things that we have talked about quite a bit already in previous sales meetings. And so I don't want to take the time to go back over those items. But for those of you that are newer, or for those of you that say, hey, I didn't catch mindset, skill set, action, you can catch the entirety of the presentation if you'd like. It's already posted to YouTube. We also will be posting this one as well later today, so you can go back and reference. But with that, let's go ahead and dive into this. Let me bring this up here. All right, I believe that I am sharing a screen. Can somebody verify that you are seeing? What are we seeing on your side? It just went blank on mine.
We're seeing your screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
WIGS, LAGS, and LEADs.
Okay, and that's the only thing you're seeing is just the WIGS, LAGS, and leads?
Yes.
Awesome, perfect. All right, good. So want to talk to you, we want to get into goal setting, right? How do we set goals? What's the point of setting goals? But more importantly, how do we actually accomplish those goals? All right, so as I said, that we're going to go through this today. As I said, we're going to skip through a couple of things, but the first thing that I just want to remind everybody, we've talked about this a lot, right? Mindset, skill set, action. Just remember, as you are setting your goals, as you are preparing for what you're going to do in 2021, we've got to get our mindset right to be able to work on our skill set, and we've got to get our skill set honed in order to take action on it and to be highly effective in what we're doing. Let's talk about mindset, though, just for one quick minute before we move too much further. And let's just talk about what we are to our own businesses. I think that this gets overlooked a ton. We call ourselves, we identify ourselves as realtors, as independent contractors, but I think we have to change our mindset if we want to be effective to really embrace the fact that we're more than that. We're not just an independent contractor. An independent contractor is just somebody that goes and does a job. You really, truly are the CEO of your own business. You're the head of it. You run everything. All the decisions are on your shoulder. When something happens good, it's because of you. When something happens bad, it's because of you. You're responsible for everything you do. Do we look at ourselves? Are you, when you are planning on what you're going to do next, your days, your weeks, your business plan for a year, are you looking at yourself as being the CEO, the person that is the most important part of your business, that is fully responsible for your business? How does the CEO act? How does the CEO relate to the employees? Every day, are you taking the time to assess what you're doing? I think a really good practice is really truly looking at yourself before each day or after each day and thinking, how was the day that I just had, right? How was yesterday, or how was today, if you're looking at yourself each day, and saying, am I somebody that I would hire? Was my performance today a hireable performance, or is that somebody I would let go, right? Would I hire myself based on what I did today? Now, if you say to yourself, yeah, I did awesome, great. Tomorrow you have a big shoes to fill, right? You have to maintain that. And if you say, no, that wasn't really my best day, I probably wouldn't have hired myself today, or I definitely would have let myself go, then you've got equally as much work, because you've got to make up for that, right? You've got to stay on top of yourself. You are the CEO. You're the boss of yourself. How does that look? Real quick, just a reminder, right? We've talked a lot. This is another part that we're going to kind of gloss over today, but that you have available to you in the other recording if you'd like. And that has to do with your why and your word, right? We've talked about this. What's your why? If you don't know what your why is, then why are you even doing this to begin with, right? What's your why? Know what it is. What's your word? What's the thing that you're going to focus on for next year, right? We've talked about setting goals. We've talked about New Year's resolutions. 8% of people, Americans, will successfully complete their New Year's resolution. Why set yourself up for failure? Set yourself up for a path of accomplishing something and really implementing a word that you feel like, hey, this is something I want to focus on this year. Remember that in your business planning. All right, let's get on to the main event, the thing that we're really here for, and that is how do we set goals? How do we focus on what's most important to us, right? So this slide talks about 4DX, is a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution by Franklin Covey. And in it, it's really a book for people that are leaders. You are the leader of your own company, right? You're the leader of everything you do. I think it's wildly important that we focus on, okay, really, what do we control? How do we control it? All right. The cool thing about the idea of the 4 disciplines of execution is that it really simplifies what we need to be focused on. Less is more, right? This chart just kind of talks about what you can accomplish if you set a varied number of goals, right? So the first says, total number of goals, 2 to 3. And the bottom says a goal is achieved with excellence, right? 2 to 3. If you set a minimal number of goals, you can focus your attention on those goals and successfully achieve them at a high level, right? But as you see on the chart, Franklin Covey says, hey, the more goals that you bring into the fold, the more things that you're trying to achieve, the fewer you're actually going to be successful at. I think that that's something that should resonate for a lot of us, right? As we try to bring in lots of different ideas, lots of different things that we're focused on. Even great programs and ideas of creating lead generation sources and things of that nature. I know we talk about pillars. Paul, if you took the training, the longer training earlier this month about business planning, and Paul talks about pillars, and that's great. But if we try to focus on all of our pillars all at once, if we have no pillars, and all of a sudden we try to do 5 pillars, how successful are those pillars really going to be? How successful are we really going to be in achieving greatness or excellence in that goal or in that pillar? I'm really going to challenge us today to focus on far fewer goals, far fewer things that we want to accomplish in the year. I think I've mentioned this before, but Bill Gates talks about how people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 5. Let's not try to pack too much into 1 year. Let's be really intentional about what we're going to put into the year, right? And focus on just 1 or 2 goals and successfully accomplish those. Let's talk about the cycle of success. I think this is great. 4 steps to success. 4 steps to success. There's all kinds of steps to success. But the nice thing about this is it's a succinct way to think about how we go from where we are today to where we want to get. Step 1, it's real simple. Focus on your WIG. Now, if you've been around long enough, you have heard me talk about a WIG, wildly important goal, right? Choose a goal. What's the most important thing that you're doing, right? Your WIG is the thing that you want to accomplish this year. It could be a number, right? It could be a sales number. It could be an experience. It could be all kinds of things. But your job in creating your goals for 2021 is really simple. It's figure out what is the primary goal? What are you really trying to achieve? Determining your primary goal should not be whimsical. It shouldn't be, oh, well, I don't know, 1 sale a month would be great, or I want to make $100,000. No, it's got to be more intentional than that. You've got to take the time to go, what's my goal and why is it my goal? If you have an income goal, why is that your income goal? How much money do you need to make? How much money do you need plus how much extra would be comfortable, right? What is your goal? Why is it your goal? But figure out what's your most important, your wildly important goal for 2021. From there, we can work. That's step number 1. Focus on that goal. Step number 2 is act on the lead measures. All right, let's talk about this. Lead measures. There are lead measures and lag measures, right? Lead measures are the things that you do that determine the outcome, right? A lead measure are the things that you have control over. The lag measures are the things that are already done, right? That's what's already happened. It's the results from your lead measures. That's your lag measures, right? So we want to really focus on making action on some lead measures that are going to really push the needle on your WIG, right? How do we get to our WIG? We establish lead measures, things that we're going to do that will help us accomplish that WIG, that wildly important goal. So let's talk about this. Let's see what this really looks like in practical use, okay? So a lag measure is the measurement of what you are trying to achieve, right? So if your goal this year was to sell 100 houses, right? However many houses you sold is your lag measure. If you only hit 60 houses, 60 is the lag measure. That's what you accomplished. Your lead measure is your activities that predict or influence the success of your lag measure, right? So these are the things that you have control over. These are the things that are very measurable. These are the things that you wanted to spend your time and energy on in order to accomplish that goal. Let's look at an example here. Lag measure. You want to lose weight. Okay, cool, right? Let's lose weight. Fantastic. What's your lead measure? Well, your lead measure is going to be probably tracking the calories that you consume, right? Or more specifically, identifying the number of calories that you're willing to consume a day and how many calories you need to burn a day, right? Those are your lead measures. Those are things that you control. You control how many calories go into your body. You control how many you burn. Awesome. Those would be great lead measures. Let's look at another example. Closed sales. If we just simply make this a sales goal, right? Your WIG is, I want to sell X number of houses. Your lag measure is closed houses. We talked about this. Your lead measures might be things like how many times you contact your SOI. It might be how many appointments you're going to hold every week. It might be how many open houses you're going to do, how many calls you're going to make. Could be any one of hundreds of things that you put in place that you say, if I do this many this, or if I do this in this way, it will help me get to my WIG, my wildly important goal. So step 1, focus on the WIG. Step 2, act on the lead measure. And step 3 is keep a compelling scoreboard. What does that mean? Keep a compelling scoreboard. Score matters. It really does, right? I don't know about you guys. I've got kids. They want to keep score. Everything they do. Who got more baskets? Who won that? Who won at wiffle ball? Who did? It's score matters. Now, if you're not driven by winning, that's irrelevant because a scoreboard doesn't have to be about winning and losing. It does have to be about tracking, right? So I'm gonna offer up that you should take the time to implement a scoreboard into what you are doing for 2021. Now, it doesn't have to be elaborate, although it can. Some of you are massively creative and can create some big, huge, amazing, thing. The goal with the scoreboard is simply this. Have on there what it is you're trying to accomplish and your lead measures, and then simply keep track of it, right? Put that scoreboard somewhere where you're going to see it. It might just be a sheet of paper. It might just be something that you just jotted on, right? It could be an Excel sheet. Doesn't matter what it is, except that it needs to be something that you can quickly look at and identify where you are, right? What is the score? How many of those did you do this week? How many weeks did you accomplish those lead measures? Scoreboard is no good if when you look at it, you have no idea where you stand, right? Makes sense? Also, a scoreboard is no good if you can't see it easily all the time, right? If the scoreboard is an Excel file on your desktop that you never open, well, what good was that, right? The idea is to keep score, to continually maintain seeing where you are in your process. Because if you're lagging behind, you can make adjustments. If you're surging ahead, maybe you're even adjusting your WIG, right? So having a compelling scoreboard is a big part of succeeding, having something that shows you where you are. All right. 4th step, super simple. Accountability. You need to be accountable. I love this slide. Did you say the A word? Yeah, absolutely I did, right? The reality is this, is that we need accountability to push ourselves. Now, a lot of you have heard me talk about accountability before. I don't know that I've shared totally the amount of accountability that I have put into myself and my life and my business. So I will share that. I don't only believe that accountability is probably the number one most important thing that we as CEOs of our own businesses can implement into our business. I don't only say it, but I really do believe it. I'm personally accountable in 3 different groups. 3 groups. I have one, I have, of course, my bosses, right? Jason and Melanie. I'm completely accountable to them. Once a month, I have a one-on-one with Melanie where I am accountable for how our offices are doing in all facets, right? Without that accountability, it would be very easy for me to potentially, have practical drift and move to a side and not stay in line with what my goals are and what we're trying to accomplish. I have accountability partner, one of the guys that leads the Chicago organization for Berkshire Hathaway real estate. I connect with him once every other week, right? And I'm accountable to him for different things that I say I'm going to implement in our offices, different things I'm going to do with and for you guys, for the agents, right? How we're going to continue to build our offices. I'm accountable to him every other week. And every single week, I'm accountable to my other sales managers, right? We have a WIG, literally a WIG call every single Wednesday morning where we talk about the different tasks and things that we have set forth and said that we are going to accomplish in the coming week. If you are not accountable to anyone, you might think to yourself, I don't need that. It's not important to me. But I would challenge you. Accountability is probably the number one thing that you do need. The vast majority of human beings, 98% of us, are not accountable to ourselves. It just doesn't work that way. Sometimes on some things we can be, but to have consistent accountability and consistently having someone to connect with and to make sure that you're getting things done for, not only just yourself, not only just your significant other or your kids or your bills, you need that accountability. We need to find a way to get accountability into your business. If you want to have that as part of your business, of course, I or the sales managers are more than happy to help you with that. In fact, if you're thinking to yourself, okay, fine, Tay, I hear you, accountability, I don't like it, but I know that I probably could use it and it would be a huge advantage to me boosting my business. Who should I choose? Who would I be accountable to? Yeah, your managing broker. Wouldn't be a horrible idea, right? I'm happy to help you with that. It's not my job to beat you over the head with it, but we definitely can do that. I have coaching with a lot of folks that accountability is a big part of. Other friends in the office, people that you know from our company, other companies, doesn't matter, but other people in the business, right? Would be great people to connect with and say, hey, do you want to connect once a week and talk about what we're doing and hold each other accountable? Totally available to you. I know that there are a lot of people in each office that would really like to do that. If you need help finding someone, let me know. I will help you. Spouse or significant other. Probably not the greatest, right? Probably not the greatest. You probably don't want your significant other telling you, hey, did you do all those things you said you were going to do today? That might be okay for a while. It might not go well long term, but probably better options out there. All right, let's talk about goals. Let's talk about what does a goal look like? What do you want your goal to be? Well, where should we start? A goal needs to be smart. It needs to be specific. It needs to be measurable. It needs to be something you can actually achieve. An agent in one of the offices years ago, his goal every year was to make $1 million. He never made more than $15,000 in a year, but his goal every year was to make $1 million. It's not achievable. It doesn't make any sense. Let's set our goals at something that we can achieve, that stretch us, pull us, make us work hard, but something that's achievable for you in that next moment. If we want to get to $1 million, we don't start from where we are today and immediately go to $1 million. We start from where we are today and we make measurable, intentional increases, right? And build a business rather than hope a business into existence, right? It's got to be realistic, right? $1 million, maybe not realistic. Maybe we've got agents that have done that. Time, it has to be time sensitive. Your goal cannot be open-ended. Let's talk about that. So these are words that you would not use to create your goal. Okay, more, less, better, more. These are really commonly used. When I talk with agents, I hear all the time, I want to sell more houses. How many more houses? By when do you want to sell those houses? What does that mean? More. What does it mean to you in this specific situation? Less. I want to do less of something. I want to spend less time getting ready to get ready. Okay, cool. But how much less? It needs to be able to be quantified, right? Better. I want to do better at this. Really open-ended, right? What we're trying to do is find a way to be very, very specific. And if we're going to be very, very specific, then we need a starting line, a finish line, and a timeline. Really simple, right? When are you going to start? Where is the finish? If your goal is to sell, 10 houses this year, that's the finish, 10 houses. And the timeline is the year, right? How long is it going to take you to get there? Where are you going to start? You're starting at 0. Where are you going to go? 10 houses. How long are you going to take to do that? 12 months, right? As you're creating your goals, you need to be very specific about where you are. If you thought to yourself, hey, I want to make a goal for my sales for the rest of this year, right? Your starting line might be where you are right now. I have 8 sales right now, and I want 10 sales by the end of the year. My timeline is 2 months, right? So your goal is you need to sell 2 houses, but your starting line is established. Your finish line is established, and you know how long you're going to take to get there. Super important when setting your goals. All right, real simple. This slide I do not have in a PDF. It is so simple. If you are following along at home, you can write this out. Super simple. I'm going to challenge you to actually do 2 of these, and I'll explain. The first one, I want you to come up with your WIG for 2021. Just choose one. The chart before showed that you could choose 2 to 3 and potentially successfully accomplish those with excellence. And that's great. We can do 2 or 3. But let's just start with one. What is the most important thing? Let's start with one thing that is the most important goal that you have for 2021. Let's be intentional. Let's figure that out. And then let's follow it up with 3 lead measures. Okay? Take the time today when we're done with this call to sit down and really determine what that's going to be. And then what are going to be the 3 activities that you're going to use to get there? This is a great practice, a great way to see, okay, do I know what I want to achieve? And do I know how to get there? And if I don't, that's okay. Come and talk to me. Come and talk to Nalani. Come and talk to Russ. Let us help you with it, right? If you think, well, I think I kind of know where I want to go or what my WIG should be, but I'm not exactly sure, let's bounce it off of each other, right? If you're like, hey, I know exactly what my WIG is. I know exactly what it is I want to accomplish in 2021. That's not my problem. I'm not too sure how to get there. Awesome. Same thing. Connect with me, Nalani, Russ. We can talk about different opportunities, different ways to get there, what those lead measures are. Lead measures if on a sales WIG might be something like, I'm going to hold 12 open houses every month, right? I'm going to get 20 new people put into my SOI every month. And every week, I'm going to do 10 thank you cards, right? Those would be 3 lead measures. Let's create what those are. Let's put them in place so that we know where we're going. A lot of you have heard me talk about time blocking and schedules and things like that. It's really important that you know what you're going to do on, Thursday, December 17th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Because when you get to December 17th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if you don't already know what you're supposed to be doing, you probably won't use that time effectively. It's the same thing with creating your WIG and your lead items or your lead measures. If you know what your WIG is and you know the lead measures that you need to take, you are much more apt to accomplish those, which will ultimately help you hit that goal. Now, I'd like to challenge you to do one more of these. I'd like you to do one more for the end of the year. We have 2 months. 2 months before the end of the year. And I want to challenge you to make this one an opportunity to fail. We've talked about this in the past. We haven't talked about it too much, I don't think, in the last couple of months. But the concept that we know if we are going to grow our business, we will fail along the way. But we guard ourselves with bubble wrap and anything soft that we can to keep ourselves from failing. We can't do that. We know we have to fail, but we don't put ourselves in positions to fail. And when we're not putting ourselves out there in positions to fail, we don't have a chance to succeed. We definitely don't have a chance to break through what we always do in our norm. If we want to grow, we have to give ourselves that ability to fail. We have to afford ourselves the lack of comfort that comes with failing and look at it as an opportunity to grow. So let's do one more of these. I challenge you to do one for the end of the year. Choose one goal, one thing that you want to do, one thing you want to try, one thing that you think this probably won't work, but I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to do this thing. Create one WIG for the rest of the year and then support it with 3 lead measures. What are the 3 things that you're going to do to try to actually succeed on your opportunity to fail? Not succeed in failing, but succeed in actually accomplishing what it was that you set out to do. And then be okay if it doesn't. That's my challenge to you. So a WIG for 2021, a WIG for the rest of the year that's much more of a, hey, let's have fun. Let's think of something out of the box. Let's go and do something that we've always thought about doing and haven't done yet. That's it. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. We want to keep things super simple and then fold in more opportunities, right? Let's start with a base that makes sense. Let's start with a base that you can build on. Let's start by being really, really good in achieving our goals on one topic and then start folding in more. With that, I'm going to try to come back to my full screen here and stop sharing and answer any questions. Are we back to full screen? Yes. All right. Now you're seeing each other. Does anybody have any questions on any of that? Thoughts, comments, suggestions? No is perfectly fine. Good. All right. If you want help with that stuff, please be reaching out to me or your other sales managers. We would love to help. I'm going to stop the recording and we're going to open up for new and price reduced right now.